So with this current stage whereby the color ID is in, it's very fast that you can just drop in a couple of materials. Okay, so I'm just going to start with a very simple material, cobalt. Just drag and drop. So the ways, like just a recap from last week, you can create alphas. Okay, you can add a mask with color selection straight away. All right, over here, the color selection, they will ask you what you want. So for example, let's just say in this cobalt pure, I only want it on this area here. So I'll just pick a color. So for me, it is the blue. So here's already been assigned to cobalt. Okay, so I'm just going to throw in a couple of stuff in. Then after that, I'm going to show you a couple more. Okay, wood rough. Let's throw wood rough in. Over here, same thing. Add a color selector. Woods on reds. And then I probably want to throw in iron or iron rough for the rest of the other parts. Okay, so I'm going to get this already. Now, so if you notice over here, all right, if you notice on these textures currently, there isn't much in terms of your normal height map. This normal height map is only here because it's generated from the high poly mesh. Okay, these wood grains have some grains. Okay, have some grains. Now I'm going to include a couple more things inside. I'm going to go back to material. I'm going to now add in fill layer. Okay, and in this fill layer, go down to the properties. I'm going to only use a height map. Okay, and the height map is calculated by color in terms of, let's just say, for example, negative or whatever it may be. All right, what's the purpose of this? Show it to you. So let's create a black mask. In that black mask, right click. Let's add a paint. So now you're able to paint some stuff over it. And if you come down here, the alpha has a shape. I'm going to select an alpha shape. Okay, so let's just say, for example, I want, let's try something. Oh. Dirt smudges. Okay, so if, for example, you want to increase the brush size, let me see, I think it's control right click. You can increase the brush size automatically. Come down to here, and now I'm going to. So now what I've done is I've added this height map onto this entire texturing process. So if I come down here and go, hey, let's take at the normal height and mesh, you notice that the normal maps now calculates that height mesh as well. Okay, so you can do like dirt smudges on certain areas. Okay, or you can even start to change them via the alpha. So for example, you don't like that and you want something really hard and solid, say for example arrow simple. Okay, control right click to adjust the size. Go back to the lighting material here, and maybe you want to punch it like that. Okay, so sometimes it's very hard to punch on the 3D view. Okay, that's the reason why this 2D view is exceptionally well received right now. You can come here and say, I want to punch this, and I continue punching them. Okay, if for example, if for example you need to rotate, now if for example you press, I remember I think it's a left mouse button, first click, you press shift and pull, okay, it will try to draw a straight line for you. Okay, so you can use like something like a square, and then you can draw like a straight line as well. Okay, so in this case I chose something like an arrow, that's why there's like jagged stuff going on here. Okay. So you can actually see this in your 3D view, so you get stuff like that when you run across. Okay, so this is one way to increase.
Can we rotate the alpha?
The alpha can be rotated, but it should be rotated somewhere here. Let me see. Control or shift? Shift? No. This is the... Ew. Okay. If you press Control, left mouse button click, up, down, your alpha would turn. So you can turn, click. Let me shrink that back a little bit. So in case I just want to turn it a little bit, click. And here, let's say I need to shift it a little bit. Okay, click. Turn it like that, shift, click. Oh, click. So you can. Okay. There are a lot of shortcut keys here. If you're not too sure, just press the Control for long, don't let go. Then they'll tell you the shortcut keys over here. Okay. Same thing with shift also. You press shift, then they all pop up. Okay. Because sometimes these shortcut keys are a bit different from mine. So when you start tinkering about, right, for me, I get confused sometimes as well. Okay. Right. So cool with this. Yeah, can. Same thing. When you import resources, the time you... Oh, sorry. When you import resources, the time you import. Say, for example, I know this is not an alpha, but... See? So you need to create the alpha outside before you bring it in. Okay. Cool. All right. Glowing surfaces. Emissive channel. Now, emissive channel, when you start with this, right, it's not stated inside here, okay? But you need to activate it carefully. So, for example, let's just say on your texture set settings over here, you can see that there's a plus sign on channels. Just click on that, and then emissive. Now, emissive is for surfaces that you want to have glow. Like, for example, your lights that you have, like bulbs or whatever, you want it to be emissive. Or I don't know, those superb lines that have like Tron lines like that, whereby it glows. So you need an emissive channel, so you need to activate emissive over here. Once this is activated, okay, then now you can paint the emissive channel. Now, same thing with here, which earlier I used this to paint the height map, okay. Let's just go to add a fill layer. Okay, so this fill layer right now, let's take a look at the 2D and 3D. So this fill layer is right on top right now, okay? And I'm going to shut off everything except emissive. And under emissive here, I'm going to choose a color. Say, for example, red. Red is, let's do something sci-fi, more blue. Okay, so this is the emissive channel right now. Right click. Let's just say here I want to add a black mask. Okay. And over here I'm going to add a paint. So over here, say on my alpha, I want to change this. Say for example I want a circle, like I want a logo like that. Okay, this logo is right here. So this is already emissive, but it's a bit hard to see, correct? Because it looks like blue only, right? Okay, you have the opportunity to adjust how bright you want your emissive channel to be. Okay, so you need to come back to your texture settings here. Oh, sorry, here, shader settings. Under shader settings here, you'll notice that there's an emissive intensity. Okay, so I'm going to change the quality a little bit higher so you can see. And then I'm going to increase. Now, do you notice that it's now much brighter? But it just looks like blue, right? Okay. Come here, display settings. Scroll down, activate post effects. Give it a while. Down here, glare. Interesting. Why is my post effects not working? Let's go back here a bit. Yahoo! Okay. Why is this thing not showing? Real material post effects. Luminance. Remap factor, is it too high? No. Okay, let's try and use another alpha. But this shouldn't be the case though. Never mind. I'm going to activate iRay just to check it out. Okay. Okay, guarantee you the post effects is not working. Now, when you activate post effects, especially glare, right, what will happen is that it will emulate the emissive channel to look like a light. So you're going to get glares like what is that? Like lens flares like that. It should look like this. Emissive glare. It's supposed to look like this.
So I can use it for my car light, right?
It will look like this. You see this burning out? I'm not too sure why is it not showing here. I've read somewhere that some people had problems with this. But right, it shouldn't. Later what I'll do is I'll shut down the thing and then reboot it up one more time. But if you've done this correctly, you come to here and you've activated your post effects, you should be able to see this. Unless this Silicon Studio is not booting. That's why if you change the glare luminance, right, you should be able to see this. Anyway, this post effects anyway, it's only a view that you actually see in substance. What the potential of the emissive channel can be like. When you take it back to Arnold, you still have to make your adjustments on Arnold as well. Okay. So this is just a preview per se. Okay. I'll try to get this working up so that later I'll show it to you one more time. I'm not so sure why the post effects is not working. But generally, that's what you need to do with emissive channels. You have to include one emissive channel, and then you need to start to paint the color for it. Now, if for example you're not happy with the emissive color, just come back to here and just change the color. Okay. The brighter it is closer to white, the brighter the emissive channel will look like. It's just like when you have lights like that, right? When you look close enough, don't look too long lah. You'll notice that the white area is the warmest area. Okay, same logic applies over here. Okay. Now, let's try something. Let's try something. Say for example, I want to throw plastic grid. I think this is a good idea. Now, one thing that you need to note is that there are channels in terms of how the UV is being tiled inside substance. If you look a while ago, I just took this plastic grid and threw up. You notice that there are like diamond shapes over here. They are too big. So if you want to adjust the scaling means, right, you have to adjust it from the UV tile itself. And the UV tile is found under here. So you have your tile patterns, you have your tile patterns over here, which you can increase, decrease as well. Okay, so it depends the amount of surface that you need it to cover. Then over here, you can see that there's a scale, right? So if you increase the scale, you get your plastic like that. Then if you don't like it so much, in terms of it looks too deep, okay, you have your height range as well, which you can adjust. All these things are already on your normal intensity. This one, if you change your height range already, it will automatically change. So you can scrutinize the thing that you're doing, okay? How much it needs to be there, okay? Cool. Now, let's see this. Let's go here. Let's try something. Mask. Come here. Polygon fill. See this thing here? If you do not have a material ID, or along the way you want to change some parts of your color ID, okay, but you don't want to go back to Photoshop, and you know your construction is clean and perfect, you can use this polygon fill tool. It's just like in Maya previously, some people, right, they select your faces and then they assign the texture onto it. This thing works like that. But this thing only works when they can detect the polygon. So if your UV is messy and it goes everywhere, okay, if it goes everywhere, this is one way that you can actually organize it. Because some people, when they lack of time, what they do is they just automatically open up all the UV, so it goes everywhere. They don't take care of the seam line, but their construction could be quite pretty and they need to get this done really quick. Some of them just use the polygon fill and just start clicking away. You can do that too. But my recommendation is try not to use this technique so much. It's possible, but if you know how to organize your UV properly and how to create your own color ID, it's a lot more organized. This one is like last minute fixes. Oh my goodness, I got some problem here, I need to fix this. This is how you quick fix it using the polygon fill. Okay. Cool. Last but not least, the projection. You want to bring in a texture, and you want to have that texture on top of the surface. For example, like that mouse pad, you got a scorpion on top of it. You might have a full picture of the scorpion outside of it, and you want to bring it in. How do you do that? Now, first things first. Hopefully, file, import the resource first. I'm going to import a side duct. Okay, I'm going to import a side duct, and this side duct is a PNG file which has alpha channel, meaning to say anything around the whites, they're transparent. Okay, so just open it. Blah blah blah. Let's define it as a texture. Yeah, texture. Import to the current session. Just import it in. So this is my side duct, and I'm going to create a new layer, not fill layer. I'm going to create a new layer. Okay. Emmisive, no emmisive. Okay, color, base color. Sure. I've got this guy here. So if you import it in like that, okay, awesome. Let's not do it this way. If for example you bring it into a base color, all right, and you assign it to a paintbrush, right, what you're going to have is you're going to have something like that. Okay, and it follows the shape of your brush. So when you run it right across, you're going to get the shape that you want. Okay, so this depends on your brush settings. For example, you don't want it to, there's no, where is that? You can increase the size, you can get off the tapering by using the correct brush, but no pressure also. But it's very hard to judge sometimes. So what sometimes people do is they use a projection. Okay, so this is one way of doing it. Okay, let's close that. Let's go back to, I'm going to just delete this. Another layer. There is my settings. shape stencil. Okay. There is one more way to do this. Mana itu. Okay, maybe wait first. Let's stop here. Let's try this with you first. Okay, I want you guys to just create, I think you guys have this model, right? Try to create a height map for this first. Okay, just create this height map first. Okay, give you guys a little bit of time. No, I'll just keep talking and talking and talking.